Now is all, the motto of the hotly debated Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup. But what's debatable about Qatar hosting the outside sporting event other than its temperatures ranging as high as half the boiling point? Well, get your head in the game, the foot to the ball, and take some money from the Qatari government while you're at it, because we're discussing controversies with the hosts of this FIFA tournament. So, what has been going on? Well, to split it up into three parts, there's involvement with FIFA, involvement with Qatar itself, and the general experience. First of all, alleged vote buying and corruption amongst FIFA voting members. In case you don't know, FIFA, or the Fédération Internationale Football Association, is the international organization that runs the World Cup, and its voting members get to decide where it takes place. In 2010, with a 14-8 vote, Qatar beat the United States to host the massive sporting event. And ever since then, these allegations of vote buying and bribery have been pouring out. The now former president, Sepp Blatter, recently said that Qatar 2022 is a mistake and that the country is too small to host. And this leads us on to our next point. Qatar has put forth a massive $300 billion investment into creating 7 of the 8 new stadiums, a new airport, metro line, roadways, and even a whole new city for the tournament. Of course, these infrastructure projects didn't build themselves, and that's where the controversy amongst foreign workers comes in. In 2012, Human Rights Watch reported that foreign workers living in Qatar live and work in an abusive system of forced labor, stolen wages, debt traps, confiscated passports, and unsafe working conditions. In 2021, The Guardian reported that 6,500 laborers had died since Qatar had won the hosting rights to the World Cup, while the government in Qatar says this number is closer to 37. So outside of the rights of foreign workers, let's turn our eyes to the rights of people in general in the country. Qatar is an authoritarian state with rules following that of Muslim law. These laws impact the rights of women and LGBTQ+ people especially hard. Women in the country must receive permission or be accompanied by a male guardian if they'd like to study or travel. LGBT relationships and actions are completely illegal in the country, with punishment going as far as death in certain cases. And while Qatar has said that everyone is welcome to come to the World Cup indiscriminately, there has been some asterisks to that. For one, when journalists ran an investigation posing as a newlywed gay couple trying to reserve a FIFA-recommended hotel room, 3 of the hotels turned them down, while 20 others asked them to not appear explicitly as gay. And an ambassador to the World Cup said that homosexuality is a damage in the mind. Finally, and the largest point, what is the general experience going to be? Well, first of all, this is the first World Cup to be hosted in the wintertime, and there is a purpose for that. The peninsula in which Qatar is located is a desert in the Middle East. Therefore, temperatures in summer peak months can range as high as 50 degrees Celsius, or 122 degrees Fahrenheit. This degree is well beyond the maximum that FIFA has limited for players to play in. Another problem is, as Sepp Blatter mentioned, is the country's size. Qatar has a population of under 3 million, while the World Cup is expecting to draw in 1.2 million people. So, when the tournament is in full swing, the amount of people in Qatar's borders could be increasing by up to 40%. When fans arrive at the stands in Qatar, they might want to drink a bit, but public drunkenness in Qatar is illegal. But instead of the nation doing what it normally does with publicly drunk people, fines and arrests, it will be setting up sobering up zones. is. Reportedly, the drunk people will stay contained in the zone until they are sufficiently sober to leave and then get discharged with a warning. The zones are a place to make sure that they're keeping themselves safe and they're not harming anyone else, according to chief organizer Nasser Al-Khader. So, to summarize, are you excited for the World Cup 2022 in Qatar, the first to take place in the Middle East? When you arrive, notice how it is November and December. This is because in Qatar, it is too hot in the summertime to play the game outside. See that cruise ship right over there? That's where you'll be staying. Because Qatar, population under 3 million, does not have the accommodations for the 1.2 million people who are coming to the World Cup. While you're watching a game, maybe you'll want to have a bit of fun and get a bit drunk. But just remember, that public drunkenness is illegal in Qatar. So, you'll be stuck sobering up at a specific zone and then get a warning when you leave. Oh, and by the way, it would be a bit easier if you weren't one of those, homosexuals. Don't worry, you'll still be allowed in Qatar indiscriminately, but just know that some of the hotels might turn you down. So, after all of this, you may very well be wondering, how did Qatar get the World Cup? Well, just ask half of the FIFA voting members who have been kicked out of the organization since the 2010 vote due to ethics violations or corruption, including the president. Qatar 2022 World Cup. Just be thankful you're not one of the foreign workers who built the stadiums. Oh, and one more thing. Remember when I said at the start of this video to take some money from the Qatari government while you're at it? Well, I wasn't kidding. 1,600 fans were selected for an all-expenses paid trip to Qatar. Of course, they're not doing this for the fun of it. They are expecting something in return. More specifically, good PR. The fans will be singing before the opening match, reposting and sharing positive comments on their social media, and incorporate, when appropriate, content provided by the Qatari organizers. Now, the fans have been told that we are not asking you to be a mouthpiece for Qatar. But they've also been told that it would obviously not be appropriate for you to disparage the tournament or the country. So with allegations of corruption, forced labor, bribery, lack of rights, jail time for drunkenness, and moving the whole event over by a few months so no one dies of heat stroke, those are the controversies of the World Cup 2022 in Qatar. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, please consider clicking some of the buttons below to support Shattering News with Ezra. How do we feel about that new segment in the video? I feel like I stand at you with this infographic screen a lot, so I kind of varies it up a little bit.